Nation, we're going to try to stand tall or not at all. Post-game analysis. What a victory for the Broncos and a big L for us. Cowboys embarrassing, losing another game on the road. We're going to get this going the best way possible. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Let's get it. Mama said that there'll be days, literally, just like this. Thank everybody, man, for still rocking with me. But, man, I hate losing. I don't think the Cowboys do, though. Cowboys, post-game anger. Let's get it. Five, four, three. Let's get it. Appreciate everybody, man. Y'all still love me. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, Cowboys, I'm a little red over here because I'm angry. And the Cowboys are with another loss for the season. This is the reality of it. Even though, y'all see it, even though we may have lost in this situation, I just want to say this, Cowboy Nation. I'm still 10 toes down. I still want this team to figure out a way. We got lack of pressure to my opposing team quarterback. And as red as it may be, put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. Appreciate each and every last one of you all for tuning in. What we learned is that this defense stinks, and we know that. And what we also learned is that there's no, and I mean just that, no great chemistry with consistency on the road with our offense. I just don't see it. I get it. It's shameful to watch this team do these type of things. Appreciate you, Kelly. Shout out to you, Damo. Shout out to you, Timothy. 24-44. Coaching sucked big time from what we got from field goal kicks. Yeah, and that's what we got. We literally got nothing going for us. Our defense is our offense. Our defense is offense, yeah. And if our offense can't control things, then we're going to continue to have these type of things, ladies and gentlemen. We got out-coached. I'm not with the belief that the season is over with, but I am with the belief that this particular team, in order to get from here to here, they're going to have to figure out ways to improve. They got to. And I'm talking about primarily on defense. It's a wrap. Diddy Fence. This is all love. VIP. Appreciate you, VIP. Thank you so much for jumping in. Cowboys, we're going to go over the stats and everything. Appreciate everybody.
Field play. But, yeah, to me, this is – and the argument that they will have or the discussion that they'll have is they'll say, we're getting guys back. We're going to get Overshown back. We're getting – we're going to see Ravel. We're going to see what he's going to do.
We're going to get healthier.
Yeah. And you're right.
And it'll be a spin. And if it's not, and let's say they lose to Arizona and they still haven't made a trade, they'll be 3-5-1. Then it's, we've got to do something to try and get the conversation back going when everyone else has written us off and everyone says, oh, the season's over. We got to do something to kind of stir up, one, at least headlines and conversation, but also to the fan base that still, and I know there's a lot of diehard fans. I'm with you because I am one myself, born and raised. I think if you listen every week, you can tell that. But there are other fans that just don't care. They're going to have hope and think the Cowboys are the greatest thing ever, no matter what the record is. So for those fans, Jerry can capitalize on a trade.
Sure.
I mean, last year, why the hell did they trade for Jonathan Mingo, who was an inactive today, a healthy inactive, and they overpaid for him. They gave up a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, who nobody wanted, and he's not even on your team today. So, or on the roster. He's not active today. He's on the team. But it's one of those things where I just think that they'd make a move regardless of what's happening for the sake of making a move. The fear now is, with everybody knowing how badly you need defensive help, are teams now going to force your hand to overpay?
Oh, well, they're teams that might not, the guys you absolutely want, teams might not even give you those guys. I say keep calling, because I went into the attitude of this game today that I thought Dallas would go win this football game. That was my attitude about it. So, my whole demeanor is like, okay, this team needs, if this team goes and gets a big time player, maybe things could be differently on defense. But you got shut down today on offense. That's the thing that made it. Yeah, the defense. That's why you're trading for help on defense, because it's so bad.
And I like we got a text in from the 727. I really want to make a trade, but only if it's a cornerstone defender with multiple years of team control, because I do not trust this staff to address defense. That's another element of this, and we've talked about it on the post game.
Yeah.
And all of our other on G-Bag Nation, the flagship 105.3 The Fan, when we're on 2 to 7. Since 2020, unfortunately, they haven't drafted great on that side of the ball.
No, haven't.
And you've made the point, and I agree with you. They do have a lot of coaching input in the draft.
They have a ton.
And that probably is, you've got 3 defensive coordinators in 3 years. That probably has something to do with it. But I know if you say, hey, let's hold on to these picks, are you better served getting a player that is a proven commodity that you do have for multiple years? That's the thing. I think sometimes we just get tunnel vision, like this is just for 2025.
Yeah.
If it's a big-time premier player, which maybe isn't available, maybe I think they're trying to swing for a big fish here.
I do too.
And maybe they can't get one.
Yeah.
But if I can get one of these guys, like a Jeffrey Simmons or a Crosby or whoever the player might be, Bradley Chubb in Miami even, I think's a good player under multiple years of control, that's not just helping me for this year. That's helping me for multiple years. And this defense, it's not going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take the draft. It's going to take trades. It's going to take free agency. It's going to take every level to fix this thing. There's too many holes to be able to just fix it with one draft. And then you've got to hope that you hit on that draft pick.
Yeah.
So these are all the conversations you've got to be having.
Oh, no, they clearly don't have a plan. Well, I shouldn't say a plan.
No doubt. Man, hoping that you can get these draft picks to work is crazy. Shout out to you, Sidney Jones. Guyton is one more year, and that's it. Yeah, I feel you on that. But hoping on the defense guy that we bring in can be an elixir. That can't happen. But the Cowboys got to understand and know football. The only way that this can happen, you get a Jeffrey Simmons. You figure out a way to get a Quentin Williams. You go into this mindset and say to yourself, I get it, Osa. We paid you. We love you. We like you. But what we're going to do is we're going to move you to the side, and we're going to put these dogs in there. We're going to get pressure up the middle. We're going to play man-to-man on the outside, and we're going to make sure that these DBs get home, or the DBs can slow it down. If they don't do those small things, we're going to continue to be in the same situation that we are with. So that's a brilliant point by Smooth right
Bad day.
Yeah.
It was not good. Dak probably had his worst game of the season. This goes along with the Chicago game. I thought the pick before the half was really bad.
Really bad.
Really bad interception.
Well, the last pass he threw of the game, that went to the defensive lineman was a horrible pass too.
But I mean, you do kind of have to ask yourself, is this offense the same on the road? They played well, I thought, against Philly, at least for a half.
Mm-hmm.
And they played pretty well against Carolina without CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
But the last 2 drives, they came up short. But then they've looked terrible now against Denver, and they looked bad against Chicago on the road.
I got to agree. The offense on the road, I'm not trusting this offense anymore on the road, and I'm definitely not trusting this defense anymore on the road. The only way, to a degree, that I trust this offense on the road, and I appreciate each and every last one of y'all, the only way that I could trust this offense on the road now is, can we do something as it relates to playing inside a dome? I think that we are so finesse. I don't see physicality. As far as we have that mindset that we can be a physical team. But I want us to do some concept analysis, like offense on the road. outside. Because I think inside a dome that this team played different. And I could be wrong. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But if the offense is going to be garbage and trash can juice on the road, the defense, we already know. The defense going to give it up whether it's on the road or at the house. So that's where we at right now.
The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn.
They on commercial break, but while they on commercial break, Cowboy Nation, just want to let y'all know, man, that this has been one of those things. It do sound like I'm bowling. Like, yeah, I might as well be bowling over here because we hit nothing but L's over here and no strikes. Cowboy Nation. Bo Nix, let me just pull up the stat lines for your mind. He was 19 for 29, 247 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 INT, with a passer rating of 117. Might as well have been a perfect situation for him. J.K. Dobbins, 15 carries, 111 yards. Let me say this again, 111 yards over here. Just crazy. Yes, indeed. The Dallas Cowboys are a big wet fart at this point. R.J. Harvey, 7 carries for 46 yards. Everybody that touched the ball, that tried to run outside of Jarrett and Bo Nix, everybody averaged north of 6 yards per tote. Let me say this again. They averaged north of 6 yards per tote. Tyler Batty, they got a guy named Batty. He averaged 6 yards. Marvin Mims averaged 6 yards. R.J. Harvey averaged 6.6. And then you would think if you get multitudes of opportunities to carry the ball that number will go down. But ultimately, J.K. Dobbins was averaging 7.4 yards per tote. I get it. We were a terrible defense last year. I get it. People said that we had issues on stopping the run last year when we had a certain player by the name of MP. But I got to tell y'all beautiful people that's watching right now that this team is by far worse than what we ever been. I believe that the 2020 Cowboys defense is a whole lot better than, dare I say, the 2025 Cowboys defense. I think he can run circles around it, and that's where we are at, Cowboy Nation, and it is terrible. Can't wait to show y'all the other side of the coin.
Vodka. When I got into this...
All right, so let me go pull up to the other side of the coin while they're still on commercial break. Thank all of y'all. Can y'all do me a huge favor? Shout out to you. I can't stand this organization. It's Ray running. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Hey, I'm feeling it right now. I'm hurt. I'm out here, and we are still getting beat down, still getting hurt left and right. And I'm watching other teams doing their thing, doing what they need to do. All right, so the Cowboys on the flip side. Dak Prescott, 19 for 31. One of the worst games that I've seen from this guy. 19 for 31, 188 yards. He averaged 6.1 yards per throw, which, believe it or not, they averaged more yards running the ball on the ground than we could throw the ball in the air. That is by far wild. By far wild. He had 2 INTs, 2 sacks, passer rating 51. Terrible for my guy. This game alone kicked him out of any arguments as far as being an MVP and all of this stuff. So you might as well tote that up, kiss it, push it off the way. Even though he is by far the MVP of this team, but he's not the MVP of the National Football League. Joe Milton was 3 for 4 for 58 yards and with 1 touchdown with a passer rating of 156.2. Javonte Williams, he had 13 carries for 41 yards, 3.2 yards per tote. And then we had also Dak Prescott for 6 carries. 6 carries for 31 yards for 5.2 yards. So he was your best running back in this situation. It would have been better if he was the running back in this situation, believe it or not. Pickens, 9 targets, 7 catches for 78 yards. Lamb, 10 targets for 7 catches for 74 yards. If I'm Dak Prescott, I would target my guys to see whether or not they can get more and more situations. Yeah. Yes, indeed. All right, let's listen to more what they have to say on this other end. Appreciate each and every last one of you all for being part of this.
Everything. Zach Wolchuk alongside the Super Bowl winning scout Brian Broaddus. Let's go out to Dallas. We got Francois who's been waiting. What's going on, Francois?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call. And if you could put me on hold so I could hear your response, I'd appreciate it. Brian, I said this about 3 weeks ago to my best friend. Of course, he's a diehard Cowboy fan, so he didn't see deeper into what's really going on. On the defensive side of the ball, if you notice, the Broncos were attacking the edges in the run game.
Yeah.
Now I looked up the average weight of an NFL defensive end across the league about a month ago, which is 272 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboy defensive ends average 243. So when you don't have enough junk in the trunk, it's going to be hard to set the edge, especially when you have a linebacker. And I think I was getting ready to disagree with you guys until you got to your last point about if they do go out into free agency and they sign somebody, it's not going to be for this year. No. This team is not going anywhere, and the reason they're not is because there's too much to fix. Your ends are terrible. You don't have any linebackers. I think I told you last week they don't have a free safety on the roster. Now they're depleted. And as you mentioned earlier, when Hooker and Wilson were back there, from start to finish, they've been terrible. So my point is the entire defensive operation is jacked up. And like you said earlier, Brian, the offense didn't play well either. Now, granted, you got to give Denver some credit. They're a very, very good defense, even without Patrick Surtain being in the game. But I'll go back to last week. I had a problem when they were backed up on the one, if you remember. They couldn't run the football off the goal line and got dropped for safety.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be a physical football team, a smash-mouth running football team, then you can run the football off the goal line and you don't get hit for a safety last week. So I think they are a good offense, and I choose my words carefully before I end this. I think they're a good offense, but a championship offense would have scored 30 points or more today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for the call, Francois. Any thoughts on that call, Brian?
No, I'm good.
Okay. 877-881-1053, the number, call the number, text. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification across the Dallas Cowboys radio network.
You're turn it on, leave it on. Home of America's team is 105.3 The Fan.
Hello, baby.
KRLD FM and HD1, Dallas Fort Worth.
An Odyssey sports station.
All right, we'll get back to your phone calls in just a minute, but we are now joined by the legendary voice of your Dallas Cowboys, the great Brad Champ, back in Denver. Brad, 44-24, this one got a little out of hand. What were your initial takeaways if you had maybe 30 minutes to kind of digest this?
Yeah, I mean, Zach, I think, you could have seen a lot of it coming. Look, we said before the game last week, the way their defense is, they have to score 6 times to give themselves a chance to win. Today they scored 3 because that was maybe the best defense in the league, if not one of the best 2 or 3. And so they were not able to handle that, and that's a combination of superior players and an excellent scheme that makes them even harder to play. And then on the other side, hey, they are what they are. That's why I spent the last part of the game telling people, don't get your underwear in a knot over this. This is who they are. And if you thought that Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton and Dobbins, if you thought those guys could not punish them, then you're just lost with your head in the clouds. And so today was a little bit of the worst of everything. And you're down corners and safeties. Mm-hmm. And when your starters are there, I mean, Bland is playing pretty well, but when your starters are there, you're probably below average. But they will play better than this over the course of the year on defense. It probably won't be good enough. Now, I'd just like to tell the last guy that Micah Parsons was about 240-something pounds.
Yeah, I was in a mode of just, while you were talking, Brad, top 5 defenses right now, Seahawks. I'm just about run defenses. I was going to go on a search. Seahawks, Patriots, Packers, Browns are the top 5 when it comes to yards per carry. So I was about to dive into those guys, seeing where we're at.
There's no 280 pounders. Myles Garrett's a big guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the problem is not their size. The problem is they're playing poorly. Sam Williams has played very poorly. Dante Fowler's had one good game. Marshawn Nealon has been trying to get healthy, and since the first game when he had a sack and I thought did okay, he really hasn't done anything. So when you traded I'm not saying it was a good idea to trade Parsons. I don't have an interest in litigating that again, but I wouldn't defend it. But when you did it with the expectation that the ends that you had were going to be representative, as Rock was coming on, and didn't have a chance to show it today. That was also, a pretty good offensive line. And I think maybe their offense gets overlooked a little bit, but this is who the Cowboys defense is. Some weeks against a different kind of an offense, they may play better, and they played better last week, and they may play better next week. But this is just the team they have right now, and they're going to have to just get by, do the best they can, play it as well as they can until they get through the season and can address the personnel issues.
Does this game change anything for you in terms of your thinking and maybe what their thinking is at the deadline coming up?
I'm going to say no, but I think that if you won this game, then you might have been willing to take a bigger risk.
Sleeper is the number one fantasy
to get goodness knows what, especially if Max Crosby's unavailable. I love Hendrickson, but he's a rental, and he's a rental in his 30s with a little bit of injuries. So that would only be a deal you would make if you thought you were going to go deep into the playoffs. I'm not against adding players, adding talent if you can get it, but I don't. And by the way, one thing I am against is saying, well, we're not going to make playoffs anyway, so screw it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't believe in that. I want to do the best I can. And but I would say I would acquire a player that would not be just for this year, but that would help me this year. And, maybe play a little bit better. And who knows what happens. I mean, if you win here, look, nobody wants to hear this, but nobody wants to hear a lot of the things I say, and I say them anyway. If you win these next 2 Monday night games, that's not an unreasonable thing to say with the teams they're playing. Now you have to steal a couple of games against teams you're not supposed to beat from, Philly on. And I wouldn't say it's likely they would do that, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. And if you have a better team, then you might. Who knows? Scadaboo's leg today makes the Giants a different team. Saquon was in and out, and he's got some. These things all change. So I wouldn't be, Zach, opposed to adding talent. I'd be careful what I gave up. I want to make sure I was being smart with my resources. But I just want to go out and have the best record I possibly can and see where that leaves me.
Brad, the quarterback looked human today for your football team. And it was...
Man, Brad, come on, man. Brad will catch all type of L's, man. So hoping that Cam Scadaboo is not 100%, and that's how you're going to keep afloat. And also understanding that Saquon Barkley is a little behind step or half of a step is insane to me. Cowboys, you got to win the game for yourself. You can't allow others' miscomings and shortcomings to be your upcoming. Cowboys, if they want to win this year, they got to coach better. They got to play better. You can't play these guys outside of their element. And I mean just that if they're going to be close to the LOS, let them play close to the LOS. And if it's a man carrying it, they got to make sure that they beat their feet to that side of the field. This defense got to have an overhaul. They got to. And the only way they can do that if they believe in the coaching staff, and I don't think that they do, especially with Matt Eberflus.
On that, but so I'm going to say that the quarterback looked human today, mostly because of Denver's players and their scheme. Remember, Vance Joseph's in what year as the coordinator? 3? Something like that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
So. I think 3 is
Yeah,
right.
he's been there as long as Sean has. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 3 years to build the system, bring in players to work the system, and then they're going to make it hard on a lot of people with the way they can zone blitz and straight blitz and mask the blitz, and then they got far enough ahead they didn't care about blitzing. They rushed with 4 and just played zone, and that's how you can play. So I'm going to say it was the Denver defense mostly today, and if you don't have all of those penalties, and gosh, I'd love to know what happened on the interception where it looked like Lamb never saw the ball coming down in the third quarter. Some of those things might change the momentum. You got to be good enough to score on that first possession of the game. All those little things work their way in, but I'm not concerned about that. He is human, and he'll come back fine, and I give most of the credit to that to Denver.
Brad and I were watching, just based on the TV copy here, but did CD look right to you, Brad? Did he? Brian and I were wondering if maybe he was hurt.
A little gimpy.
Well, he did. I think I absolutely know he tweaked the ankle at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a play that, and we had it. Christie reported that he didn't go to the tent, but they looked at him. But I don't remember if he was blocking or it was after a catch. But he definitely tweaked it, and I think that he was not totally himself the rest of the way. I don't think he was incapacitated, but I think the way you put it, Zach, is really good. He just didn't look right. When a really good player has a little something that knocks him off his feet a little bit, then it just doesn't look right. And I think that was true of Lamb after whenever that happened that he tweaked his ankle.
Brad, anything else before we let you out of here, sir?
Yeah, good to have an extra day before the next game.
Well, thank you very much. We can't wait to catch up with you again at AT&T Stadium Monday Night Football.
All right, no doubt. Appreciate everybody, man. Team, what are we going to do now is I just want to give y'all a heart-to-heart conversation before we get anything else moving. Cowboy Nation, I know that our faces right now. Cowboy Nation, I know that our faces right now longer than Jay Leno's chin. And right now we look at everything, especially this particular defense. I want y'all to look at my eyes when I say this. If the Cowboys are really serious about this team, and especially for the 2025 season, they got to figure out a way to make some moves. And not just making moves, but they must figure out a way to also change up the concepts on this defense. I saw a 3rd and 10 play that every single defender on the Cowboys team lined up behind the 10 yards. And that, to me, you would never win playing docile. Look, even a rabbit got teeth, and then in the middle of the field, the Cowboys, I get it. Y'all praised Kenneth Murray last week, and then y'all look back at this week, him in coverage. You cannot win in the National Football League that way. You cannot win. And I'm glad that I got all of this red on my face because y'all can't see how red my eyes are. Cowboy Nation, if this team wants to take care of business, I understand it completely of how we look like on the road. But damn it, you're going to have to literally go into the archives of your mind and say, if we're going to be a physical team, be a physical team. That whole series, 2 plays I'm going to blame the offense on. When we got down into our own red zone, we were not able to punch it in. We settled for a field goal. If we're talking about identity of being a physical football team, you run that thing in there. On top of that, ladies and gentlemen, I can't sugar nor coat this at all. But there was a series where Dak Prescott ran the ball for about, 9 yards. They made it 2nd and 1. We got stuffed at the 1, and then we go to some crazy play on 3rd and 1. We don't get it. And 4th and 1, we punt the ball. Who are we? If we say we're a physical team, then we got to be physical. at the end of the day, we softer than Charmaine or Cottonelle. And Cowboys, we got to play better. Overall, this team, I don't like us looking like this, but we can climb up out of this if we change up two philosophies. Trade for a dynamic player that can give us something back in return, and change up our philosophy. Play that man-to-man defense. Yeah, Kobe, I feel you in the chat. Shout out to you, Mike. Thank you, RKTV. I can't speak nothing more than what I just said. I don't want to outspeak my wisdom teeth here. But the Cowboys better fix this up collectively. If not, we're going to be talking about 2026 and all of them damn draft picks. And then we're going to be talking about 2027 on, hey, maybe the draft pick that we got in 2026 could turn the corner around. And then in 2027, we'll be talking about the 2028 pick. Look, the time is now. You play timid, you get beat down. I got a super chat from Brandy. States, we played timid on offense, and defense had no aggression. It looked like the Cowboys' defense was just giving it up, huh? And the offense, they got to be perfect in all thy ways in order for this thing to run. Dak Prescott, I know he threw the 2 INTs in this game, no touchdowns at all. I get it. He's going to get the bulk of the blame because that's just how it goes when you're playing with the silver and blue and the star on the side of the helmet. But the Cowboys, so far on the road, my guy, Javonte Williams, is not able to run the ball. We're one-dimensional, and it could be that we got too many false starts, we got too many illegal shifts. I believe they can't hear the cadence. We're going to have to up-tempo that up, and we're going to have to block better up front, Cowboy Nation. Even with the offense, they got a lot of spots and blemishes there. The Cowboys need an ultimate change of pace running back to complement Javonte Williams. I like what Jadon Blue is able to do, but he's a rookie, and his time is not right. I've seen a little spring. I saw something out of Malik Davis. If the Cowboys are real about this, they will figure out a way to give Malik Davis some more in this particular offense, or they'll trade for one. Pick up the phone. They got A-Chain out there. Pick up the phone. They got other players out there that you can go grab and get to be in the mix. In closing, on my defensive side, I got to say this. Cowboys, if y'all really want this defense to scale and grow, get you a playmaker. We got holes, and we got holes in different areas. As it relates to DB, we got a hole there. Linebacker, we got a hole there. Edge rusher in interior, we got holes there. Cowboys, even trading for a person will not help ultimately, but what will help is being able to change up some of the philosophies as far as what we do. I'm just repeating what I said earlier, and getting at least somebody that can be a difference maker. Don't lean on these draft picks to save us for 2026 nor 2027. I'm trying to win now. Bring in somebody. Cowboy Nation, that's my thoughts on that. That's my thoughts on that. Yeah, this team is a joke. I feel you below the heavens. I feel you. All right, at this point, let me see what they got any else to say over here.
Then you've just wasted the turnover altogether. I mean, I think passing the ball on the 2nd and goal before the penalty, they should have just been running the football. I didn't like the play call.
That part of it, I thought you got a little cute down there. We've said that before.
All right, we'll get back to the phones, 877-881-1053. A lot of texts coming in. Appreciate all of the feedback. We will get to you, 44-24. Cowboys lose.
Get it out of the mud the best way possible and standing on business and doing it independently, baby. Cowboy Nation, that's all the time that I have for this moment. Stand tall or not at all. If there's one thing a man should always do is mainly to himself stay true. Never allow someone to change your point of view unless what they bring or mean makes sense to you. Never judge a man by sight alone, nor by the height he has grown. And when speaking, keep it at a moderate tone, because raised voices only turn those hearts into stone. You see, in the beginning, it was brother our rivalry law, rivalry law. The morals of life, live, love, and respect for another. Then there are those who will try to be smart. They would take the decent man to alter his heart, to seek to rip him apart. Those men you should never call a friend, because they bend the lies around the truth to meet their end. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. I know I look like Stevie Wonder. I just want to say I love you. Come on, baby. Yeah, let's go. Appreciate you. Thank you, son of John. Thank everybody, man. Thank y'all for the ultimate respect. Appreciate you. JD from DC. You're going to get home safe. As well as Ray, thank you. Much love from y'all. This is from the deep bottom of my heart. We're going to continue to grind and shine. We're going to wipe this one down, and we're going to be on to the Arizona, but we got to at least stay about this for the next 48 hours. We're going to have to break this film down and get things going. Let's